as he's become the closer and certainly getting the job done.
This is as good as Mike Timlin has looked all season, isn't it? I mean, he looks lights out, Jerry.
Well, he does, and it's basically all at fastballs. You know, he'll ride a fastball, he'll throw that sinking fastball, every now and then a little bit of an off-speed pitch, but, you know, he throws strikes, and he's thrown strikes all season long, and when you're coming out of the bullpen in late-game situations, you don't want to be walking people. He just doesn't walk people.
Yeah, that's so important. Scott Williamson, Jim, you know, so much of it's momentum and confidence, and, of course, his last time out in Oakland, he had to come off the mound and let Derek Lowe save it. Tonight, he did a nice job.
Well, like, you feed off each other, and like you said, you talk about Timlin earlier, and so the rest of the relievers just rolling off everything else. Because this right here, if you lose, you go home, and this time you just put everything together.
And Jerry, this is big for the Red Sox. I know he gave up the home run, but still it's impressive in a clutch situation, all the pressure on his shoulders to come through like he did.
And look at the pitches, the bite on the slider that he has. You know, that is his best pitch, obviously, and he threw 3 nasty ones in that inning for strikeouts. Sierra got him with the fastball for the home run, but other than that, it was just all breaking balls to put away those hitters. Soriano was going to swing at anything that's close to the plate, especially with 2 strikes. He's really been struggling, and the Red Sox pick up a very, obviously, critical win here at Fenway Park.
Let's go back to that first inning, Jerry, because that's one thing about Tim Wakefield. You know, you need to have some breaks, too. You're going to have to see some balls hit right at people. And in that first inning, Giambi, who has not done very much in the series, actually in the playoffs, Tim Wakefield gets into some trouble with the walk, but then we'll get out of it with some, I guess, timely defense.
Yeah, you know, tough start. He had the walk to this bloop base hit here by Derek Jeter, but in my opinion, this is one of the key at-bats of the game, a line shot. Now, if that ball gets by Millard, there's an excellent chance the Yankees are quickly going to have 2 runs on the board. Jeter could score from first base on a ball like that. Instead, Millard's able to make the play. They play him slightly more to pull when Wakefield's pitching, so he was a little bit close to the line, able to make that turn into a double play, and that was huge because then after that, that's when Wakefield really settled down.
And he's the kind of guy that does settle down after something like this. You know, he gives up 2 or 3. It almost feels like, okay, the horse is out of the barn, and you're in a little bit of trouble with him.
And the Yankees would have had a lot of confidence here, obviously, to start that game. You know, get a couple of quick runs on the board. They had a 2-game winning streak coming into this ball game, a day off yesterday. They get back on top. It might have been tough on the Red Sox.
Jimmy, how big is this win? I mean, you think about the momentum the Yankees had after all the emotions on Saturday to come out and win this. Not only that now, guys, but Mike Mussina has pitched twice. Granted, they have a good starting rotation, but he's their ace. He has not won yet. How big is this win to make it 2-2?
You're in a postseason. You're playing the Yankees. And regardless of who's pitching, you're playing at home. You got the fans behind you. The momentum is with you. This is a big win. And, of course, after coming back and letting the Yankees win a game here, it's a plus. And we just got to get the momentum, keep going for tomorrow.
I'll tell you something that worried me, guys. When I looked at this series, you look at the umpires. Usually you don't pay any attention to umpires at all. But Joe West is in this crew. And remember what happened in St. Pete. And apparently he told the guys, hey, I'm going to see you in the playoffs. And he has indeed seen them in the playoffs. Remember the controversial call in New York before. But tonight, he made a call. It was the right call, and a key play. Jason Varitek up. Could have been a double play ball. Instead, it drives in the game-winning run.
Yeah, first of all, you know, we see a great play here by Derek Jeter, the shortstop, but Soriano had to back off the bag, and really that's the difference at first base in the double play. And from Soriano's point of view, you know, when you get a throw like this from the shortstop, you're not sure where it's going to go. So you play safety first. He goes back toward the outfield. That's the difference. A great call by Joe West at first base. And as it turns out, that's the winning run in the ball game. Jarrett also give credit to Varitek for hustling hard all the way down that line. You know, they pinch hit. Varitek sitting for the left side of the plate. That gives him an extra step other than a right-handed hitter. He beats it out, and that's the game winner right there.
And it was the correct call, Jimmy.
Well, I think it was a correct call because Varitek made the call. Varitek said he was safe. He was safe.
Yeah, he did. But, no, we don't have to worry about Joe West now. Apparently, you know, he's on the Red Sox side now.
Well, is Joe coming behind the plate, or he's going to right field?
He's going to the plate now. He's going to the plate now. And the problem that he had was with Doug Mirabelli, and if we didn't have the rain out, it would have been Joe West behind the plate, behind Doug Mirabelli. Let's talk about the Red Sox offense, Jerry. Again, it was kind of a quiet night offensively for the Red Sox, with the exception of the home run balls. We've been saying a lot that it's been the pitching, but guys like Todd Walker, he is suddenly Mr. October. He was Mr. September, now he's Mr. October. 2
home runs in this series, both off Mike Mussina. This time he got a fastball out over the plate, pulls it. The last pitch, I believe, was a changeup in Yankee Stadium that was down and in that he pulled, but this is a fastball from Mussina right out over the plate. You can see Posada wanted that pitch on the outside corner. Mussina left it out over the plate, and Todd Walker picks up the big home run. It seems like when the Red Sox hit home runs, that's when they win ball games.
This guy is becoming a legend in Boston, and if the Red Sox win this series, Jimmy, Todd Walker's a big reason why. He's hitting close to 400 in the playoffs.
Well, we just hope that he's in it tomorrow.
Well, that's a good question. Let's talk about that, because here you go tomorrow. You're going to have Derek Lowe on the hill. Do you have Todd Walker in the lineup?
Well, I think you do. I mean, I think they have to play Todd Walker. I don't know about how you feel, Jimmy, but, you know, this guy's hot right now, and you have a bunch of guys in the lineup that are continuing to struggle. So if you've got a hot hand in there, and certainly Todd Walker is that, I think you've got to stay with him. And also you're facing David Wells. Now, David Wells comes pretty much right over the top. So, you know, you should get a decent look at him as a left-handed hitter. I personally would keep him in there. We'll see if Grady changes and goes back to the way he has to. We'll see. I don't know.
He has to. I mean, that old mantra about this is the way we did it all season, sometimes you throw that out the window when you get to the postseason, Jimmy, don't you?
Yes, but Wells is not like Zito or some of the guys like that. So a lot of times you may have to change. The left-handed hitters may move up on the plate, move up in the box. But right now you have to go with the guys that got you there. Walker's the one that got you there. You got to go with that. You got to go with the best players right now. This
team is so resilient. I mean, even going down 2-1, I think a lot of the air was taken out of the Red Sox balloon after what happened on Saturday. But you just know, I mean, you've said it all along as we watch these ball games, and there's something special, something intangible about this ball club.
Well, things are going right. You know, we saw it right again in the first inning. A hardline drive by Giambi that turns into a double play, ends the, you know, doesn't end the inning, but certainly gets him out of trouble. But, you know, to come back after a game like the other day, everybody was down. It was kind of an ugly scene here at Fenway Park. You have the day off yesterday, the rain out. You come back and win this ball game today. It's still not going to be easy. You know, you still got David Wells, who's a very good pitcher. You're going to have to face Pettit again and possibly Clemens. So, I mean, the work is still cut up for him. Yeah.
It's a tough road to go. Let's go downstairs live to the podium with Yankee manager Joe Torre.
It was big for him to get out of first, second, nobody out, and Jason hit the ball on the button. We had second and third. You have to give Tim Wakefield a lot of credit because he got the outs when he had to. We were getting all excited about Jason's ball down the right field line. You sit in our dugout, boy, that looks fair. But it, you know, it wasn't close to being fair, I guess. And it's, as I say, you got to give him credit because he won a game for them that, you know, instead of going down 3-1, they tied the series. So you know, Tim Wakefield's been a big game guy for him.
Dan.
Joe, could you just talk about what you saw on the double play that Soriano didn't turn?
It looked like, you know, Jeter made a heck of a play trying to get the ball because it was one of those spinning balls that Varitek hit. And, you know, he threw to Sori and he threw to first. You know, and I saw Nick's reaction, but somebody come out. We can't tell. I mean, from the bench, you can't tell. But, you know, people come out from inside. They say he was safe. I didn't notice if there was.
Over here.
Joe, can you talk a little bit about Mike Mussina's performance and specifically how the home run ball has now become a problem for him in these 2 games, giving up 5 homers?
Well, you know, one thing about it, when you're a good pitcher, you throw a lot of strikes, you're going to give up home runs. I mean, he gave up 2 home runs with nobody on. I remember
tonight, a home run by Walker.
I remember Robin Roberts. I remember Don Sutton. All those guys gave up a lot of home runs with nobody on base. You know, you go after people, and they just beat him twice, and, you know, we're certainly not giving him a lot to work with. He's been pitching under a lot of pressure, and I thought he's done it very well. We just haven't been able to pull the trigger on an inning for him.
You guys are usually very aggressive on the bases. I was wondering what you were thinking in the 5th inning when Soriano didn't tag up on the fly ball to center.
Didn't he tagged up?
No, he didn't go.
Yeah, he did. He would have been out if he went. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know if he was going or not because we know that Damon John doesn't have a very strong arm, but the throw he made, I don't think he would have been safe. Yeah, I didn't think that was a bad play. He did tag up.
Yeah. Over here.
Joe, it looked as if on Todd Walker's home run that Mussina shook off a lot of pitches that Posada wanted him to throw before he gave up the home run. Can you talk a little bit about how comfortable he was with what he was trying to throw and what was being called?
You know, they work together all year. Moose is his own person. I mean, he knows what he wants to do. Sure, he'll make a pitch and, you know, it'll be hit out of the ballpark, but he certainly never is in between. He's pretty definite, and again, pitchers and catchers don't always agree, but they eventually come up with what the pitcher wants to do. And it was a fastball. I'm not sure if he wanted to get it in a little bit more than it was, but normally if you miss your spot, and you know, that's when you know, bad things happen. But I don't think there was no disagreement when they got in. But it was just, as I say, you know, he made a great deal of, he made a lot of good pitches today, but that evidently wasn't good enough.
Howard.
Joe, did you get a chance to take a look at Jason's ball that went over the foul pole?
No, you know, from the bench we were all excited because we wanted it to be a home run, You know, at first when he hit it, at first it was just sacrifice fly. I mean, that's from our angle. That's what it looked like. And then when you saw Nixon give up on it, and you know, you just look from our angle, it looked like it was going over the foul pole. But Maz at first base, you know, said it was, you know, it was a good whatever 5 feet or whatever foul.
Dave.
Joe, what was the Nelson umpire thing about his glove?
I guess they wanted to undress him to see if he had anything to doctor the ball. I had no idea what they were, what it was, and I went out there, and you know, it was all about checking his glove and his belt buckle.
Joe, just your thoughts on Wakefield again. Pitches another great game against you.
I don't really feel like giving you my thoughts on Wakefield.
Okay.
He was terrific. You know, again, we had him on the ropes a couple of times, and we couldn't get the hit that would put him on the ropes. So you really have to give him. I have a great deal of respect for him. He's you know, he's probably great for a manager because you can start him, you can relieve him. He's pretty durable, and he's a class act. So you know, you know, I thought we battled him tougher this time than the last time. He may not have had as good a knuckleball today, but again, we came away empty.
It's funny. He says, I don't want to talk about Wakefield, and for good reason. I want to ask you guys about what happened with Jeff Nelson. First of all, the Fenway crowd was awesome, chanting, "We want Nelson." I think that, you know, that's a way to get into the spirit of what's going on. Nelson had to be feeling the pressure out there. Then Grady comes out, talks to the umpires, and apparently it had to do with the belt buckle. And you have a little history, Mr. Remy, with belt buckles.
Well, I mean, it's been common practice throughout the years for pitchers to scuff the ball with their belt buckle. Now, we don't know if that's the case, obviously, with Nelson. Maybe there's some inside information that possibly that could happen. But that's clearly what they're doing here. They check the glove. They also check the buckle. Now, what some people do is where you put the, you know, the whatever it is into the belt, you kind of shave that down and make it almost like a knife, you know. And so you can take the ball and you can scuff it against that. And sometimes you get a little cut on the baseball. There was certain second basemen that I know who used to do that to pitches between innings. You get the throw from the catcher, you kind of rub it against your belt buckle and hope that you get a little scrape on it, and you throw it back to the pitcher, and he uses it. So, you know, there's a little gamemanship going on. I don't know if Brady's got inside information about that, but those things happen.
That's part of the game, Jimmy, too. Sometimes the catchers will rub it on their shin pads.
The catcher, but I'm wondering, the guy that he was talking about, the second baseman, did he ever play? Did he wear number 2?
We're not going to hold it against that guy, though, no matter what, if he ever did it.
It wasn't in Boston. It was in California.
So, I mean, that was obviously what Grady was talking about. It had nothing to do with...
No, I mean, the first thing that came to mind when he went out is that, you know, Nelson didn't stop at all. I thought he was going to complain about a balk, but obviously he went further than that. He wanted to talk about, you know, the possibility of him doctoring the baseball up. Apparently Nelson was fine. They checked the glove. They checked the belt. No problem. He stays in the game.
Very interesting to see Grady Little do that. Very key moment of the ball game, the 5th inning. It looked like Wakefield was on the ropes. The Yankees were getting to him a little bit. Giambi with a chance to come up big for his ball club, and he just has not had a good postseason, Jerry, but this was a very key at-bat.
It was. It's another one of those innings where it looked like the Yankees could score a few runs, and, you know, and after they had that base hit by Jeter to get a run home, Giambi's will take a look at his whole at-bat, the knuckleball down. Now he hits a ball that looked like maybe could have been a home run, but goes foul, and that's obviously a huge break for the Red Sox. But the key here is 2nd and 3rd, and then Giambi with the pop-up to center field, not deep enough to allow Soriano to tag. There's no third base coach that's going to send a guy when the ball is that shallow. Even though it's not a good throw, you've got to anticipate he's going to be close to the plate, and that was a huge play to get out of that inning with only the 1 run scored.
And Williams walks, then Posada flies to left, and that's it. And by the way, I knew that ball was foul. We're sitting in there watching it. We have 4 or 5 people behind the scenes wearing T-shirts that say "Curse this." So we have those T-shirts as good luck charms. I think everybody has to get those shirts on for the final 3 games at the RemyReport.com. Brings us a little bit of luck, too. You need a little one, though, for Wally that says "Curse this" as well. Let's take a time out here on WB Mason's X Earnings. We'll come back. We'll have more post-game reaction and more analysis from the Rem Dog and from Red Sox Hall of Famer Jim Rice.
The Hyundai Accent. The only car in its class with the added safety of standard front side impact airbags. The Hyundai Accent is the best-selling car in its class. And only the Accent is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like you win. Test drive the Hyundai Accent, nicely equipped for just $84.99 at your Hyundai dealer. Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get $1,500 cash back or 0% APR through October 31st.
Furniture ads show you a table and 6 chairs for a low price, but then you read the fine print. In actuality, it's only 4 chairs. Who wants a dining room with only 4 chairs? It's an illusion. Then they nail you for the extras. Here at Bob's, it's a whole lot different. Not only do you get a table and 4 chairs, and what a table and 4 chairs, Bob's gives you 2 extra armchairs and 2 extra side chairs. No fine print here, no illusions. Furniture shopping will never be the same.
The foot, a single body part containing nearly a quarter of all bones in the human body. Some of them the smallest, most fragile, intricate structures we have. When simply walking, the foot endures up to 4 times one's body weight. You might not know the pressure your foot is under each day.
But Timberland Pro does. Our work boots are made with 24/7 comfort technology to help you perform on the job. Timberland Pro, made to work. Available at Bob's stores for casual clothes and shoes.
It's October on Nesson, and it's getting cool around here. The Bruins are back, and they're only on Nesson, your home for Bruins hockey. It's cool TV, and home games are in HD. Ice turns to snow, and New England turns to Dan Egan with another season of his wild world of winter. Stay tuned for college football Saturdays as the nation's top conferences kick off each week on Nesson. It's October, and it's getting cool on Nesson. Tonight's show is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
All right, Tim Wakefield on the hill for the Red Sox. Really the rain helping the Red Sox. Let everything cool down a little bit after all the emotions on Saturday and let Grady Little juggle the rotation. Wakefield gets out of the early jam by striking out Jorge Posada. Big double play in that inning as well. And that would keep the game scoreless. Mike Mussina, meanwhile, benefits from the old strike him out, throw him out. We're still seeing this, Jerry.
Yeah, and it's been going on all season long. And Grady, I think right there, can't believe how much he was out of second base by.
But the Red Sox will grab the lead, Jim. Todd Walker unloads.
Todd just swinging the bat. I mean, he's swinging the bat great. And just hope that he can continue doing what he's doing right now. Not necessarily hit the home runs, but get the base hits.
Red Sox up 1-0, top of the 5th inning. Derek Jeter lines one off the bag. Maybe the Red Sox catch a break here. Who knows what happens if that ball goes into the corner. Dave DeLucci scores, ties the game up at 1. But that was the end of the trouble for the Red Sox in that inning. Bottom of the 5th, Jerry, Trot Nixon's turn.
Trot Nixon gets the fastball out a third of the plate, straightaway center field. And Mussina, of course, bit tonight by the home run ball. Again, solo home runs. Actually, I thought Mussina was better tonight than he was in the first game at Yankee Stadium. But again, the Red Sox take him deep a couple of times.
I agree. Tim Wakefield, he really settled in nicely. All he does is strike out the side in the 6th. Hideki Matsui. Nick Johnson can't touch that. Aaron Boone. Is Aaron Boone good? Jim, is Aaron Boone good? Come on. His brother's probably watching right now.
I guess
Call
the
the game
Yankees think
tonight.
so. They got it.
2-1 is the score. Jason Varitek. He'll come in as a pinch hitter. Had to come in all the way in from the bullpen. It's a close play at first, Rem.
Well, you know, that's how Varitek plays the game. He plays it one way all the time, and that's 100%. By running hard down the line, he beats it out. Here's the home run, as you can see, by Sierra. Gets a fastball from Williamson in the 9th inning. Fortunately, the Red Sox had the 2-run lead, and but it was the slider that was a nasty pitch for Williamson. And here you can see the slider to get Soriano. Throws it off the plate, gets him to chase again. Soriano's had a very difficult series.
I thought that was an awesome inning by Scott Williamson. Even though he gives up the home run, to watch the quality of pitches, he's got to be really confident after that performance
Well,
tonight.
you had 2 guys come in. You had Timlin come in, and then you had your closer come in, and they said, give me the ball. They got the ball, and what happened? We win.
This was playoff baseball tonight. This is the excitement of playoff baseball playing in October. The Red Sox and Yankees didn't have any of that nonsense. Trot Nixon, part of the reason why the Red Sox won tonight, he is in the clubhouse.
What happened Saturday? A rain out yesterday. Nice to just play baseball and be talking baseball after the game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, including myself, I think we all disrespected the game the other night. And, you know, I don't like doing that. You know, I'm one of those purists and that loves the game of baseball and to get out there and play it. And that's what I want to do. And I think everybody over there in that clubhouse wants to do the same thing, too. And in this clubhouse also, we disrespected it. We shouldn't have done that. You know, this game's been here a long time before we have. It'll be here a long time after us. So let's keep it intact. Let's play good hard-nosed baseball, and you know, and see what happens.
2 out of 3 series you saw than the rest of the series.
Do what?
2 out of 3 now. 2. The best is the best.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's back to even square one right now. I mean, obviously you'd like to be up, you know, probably 3-1 going into tomorrow's game, but in the same sense, you know, I think we're right where we need to be. You know, we need to go out and look, you know, focus on facing Wells tomorrow and do what we can to score some runs.
I like the comments that Trot Nixon said off the top, guys, talking about just everybody had a bad feeling about what happened on Saturday night. This is a Red Sox and Yankees, Jimmy. Focus should be about this great series, the great game of baseball, and that's exactly what we had.
It's a big rivalry, but all this other stuff you saw to just kick up under the rug and you just play hard-nosed baseball. There will be a lot of things the guy's going to disagree upon, but the game is played within the lines. And if you throw inside, you throw inside. I mean, if you're going to hit someone, you try not to hit them in the head, but that's part of the game. But you try to kick everything aside and say, guys, let's play hard-nosed baseball.
That's what they did tonight. All a distant memory. Let's go downstairs live to the podium. Here's Red Sox winner, Tim Wakefield.
Depth meaning top to bottom. Yeah.
Who else? Jackie?
Did you get the feeling, Tim, that maybe you're getting inside these guys' heads a little bit, that they were pressing a little bit?
No, I mean, I have a ton of respect for their hitters. It's a great lineup from 1 through 9. And my concentration was just trying to get outs. You know, I ran into problems in the first inning. Giambi hit a ball real hard, but I got lucky enough that Kevin Millar was standing in the right spot.
Okay, there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that play. Can you, was that a big sigh of relief on your part?
Sometimes it's better to have luck on your side than talent.
Okay, back there.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the mood in the clubhouse where you just came? This was obviously a very important game for you guys to win. How's the team feeling? That sort of stuff.
We're excited. I mean, it was a huge game. It's probably one of the most exciting games I've been a part of in my whole career. You know, I pitched in the ALCS when I was with Pittsburgh, but I was too young to know what was going on at that time. I was just trying to pitch. Now, 10 years, 11 years later, you realize how hard it is to get to this level, this stage of the playoffs, and you appreciate it a little bit more and understand how important these games are.
Right here, Tim.
Tim, there's a perception that you could throw almost every day. What is your availability, in your opinion, for the rest of this series?
Right now, I feel great, but I may be running on adrenaline right now. You know, I always have my spikes on, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow when I come out for BP and play catch. You know, I could be available tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. But I don't want to take anything away from Derek. You know, he's pitched great at home, and we're excited that he's going to get a start here.
Last question there.
Tim, in the first inning, you walked a couple of batters, and Darryl has a notoriously small strike zone. Did you make adjustments to be just so effective tonight?
Well, I think my adrenaline got the best of me in the first inning. I was throwing it maybe a little bit too hard, throwing it through the break. And I want to apologize to Darryl for my emotions getting the best of me in there in the 8th inning. You know, I knew going out there that this was, I only had, you know, one hitter to get out. If anybody got on, I was taken out of the game, and you know, sometimes your emotions get the best of you, and I let it get the best of me at that point, and I apologize. You know, I thought it was a strike, and probably wasn't. But you know, it's what happens when you play this game, this child's game as an adult. Sometimes your emotions get the best of you. But to answer your question, in the first inning, I felt like maybe my adrenaline was a little bit too much and throwing it a little bit too hard, and I got lucky to get out of that inning with the line drive by Giambi and was able to settle down and gain control then.
Can we take one more, Tim? Here. Can you wait for the microphone so everybody can hear it? Thank you.
Because of the magnitude of these games, obviously, is this as focused as you've probably been in your career playing baseball?
Well, I mean, you stay focused during the course of a year, too. You're only good as your last start, so, I mean, I was taught that at a young age that, you know, you do well, you prepare for your next start because you're only as good as your last one. So the focus level, I think, is a little higher maybe during this time of year because these games are very important. Every game's important at this time. And, you know, I'm very, very fortunate that the good Lord's blessed me with this ability, and I was able to stay focused as long as I did today.
Thank you, Tim, very much.
Thanks.
We'll wait for Todd Walker. He should be here shortly.
One thing, guys, I always notice about Tim Wakefield, and you probably see it a lot from the booth, when he comes out of a game, especially when he's pitched well, he'll always point to the home plate umpire and say, good job. He's very cognizant of the fact that he may have this guy again at some point.
Those guys can make or break you, you know, because from a hitter, you want an umpire that you trust, and he's going to miss some, and he's going to give you some. Some, I think, umpires, you may agree with this, I think some umpires are pitchers umpires, and some guys A hitter's umpire.
Nobody's a knuckleball umpire.
No, that's exactly right. You know, and you're right, Bob. You know, he does that a lot of coming out of games. He'll tip his cap to the umpire. A lot of pitchers do that. He was upset, you know, coming out. He thought he had himself a strike. It was a very close pitch. Didn't go his way. And we get a lot of apologies, aren't we? We had an apology from Zim yesterday. We got an apology from Wake tonight. And so it's much better to see that kind of reaction than what we had a couple of days ago.
Every pitcher needs an umpire. I know Dennis Eckersley always, I have to have that pitch. But, you know, Tim Wakefield, more than most pitchers, understands how hard it is for an umpire to be behind the plate when he's pitching. By the way, you didn't bring enough for all of us to have these shirts, but I grabbed this off Renee Haar. Renee watched the game with us. She was nice enough to let us show this again. This is the Curse This t-shirt that brought us luck tonight here in the studio watching the ball game. So that's at theremyreport.com. I'm a little upset, though, that I don't get one.
It goes to her mom, right?
What's that?
That goes to her mom, right?
Her mom wanted one.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mom and Dad both are going to get them for Renee Haar's family. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll hear from Red Sox manager Grady Little, and we'll have more post-game reaction, more analysis, as well as we look ahead to tomorrow afternoon's ball game. You're watching a special presentation of W.B. Mason's Extra Innings on Nesson.
I told her she had a boyfriend. The Hyundai Tiburon, with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. When you can be counted on, you win.
Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get $1,500 cash back or 0% APR.
Don't need to adjust your set.
Tune in and get out each week with Nesson Outdoors. Television's only all-New England original outdoor programming block. It's 3 hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, hosting all new episodes of Charlie Moore Outdoors, Northeast Journal, Camo Country, Let's Go Boating, and Divers Down. For outdoor adventure and a whole lot of more, it's Nesson Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware. Sunday nights at 8 on Nesson.
With your first love comes a first breakup. And with that first breakup comes an older brother.
You'll be okay.
Who knows just the right thing to say.
Come on, let's go to Friendly's.
Right now, try Friendly's Chicken Fajita Salad, our new steak fajita entree salad, or any of our delicious fajitas, and get a hot fudge sundae free.
Here you go.
You and me and Friendly's.
To win this game, your team needs to compete on every area of the field.
And truck season is no exception. Explorer has independent rear suspension, 7-passenger seating, and a no-charge third-row seat. Get up to $5,500 cash back on Explorer 4-door or 0% financing for 72 months, plus $500 Ford credit bonus cash. That's saving you over $8,100 in finance charges. That's up to $5,500 cash back, including $1,000 loyalty cash.
Truck season going on now at your New England Ford dealer.
All right, here it is. Offensively, not a whole lot going on with the exception of Trot Nixon having the 3-for-3 night, but a lot of it, Jerry, as you said, Mike Mussina was tough. What do you think about the Red Sox offense?
Well, again, some struggles with the middle of the lineup, but Nomar continues to struggle. Manny 0-for-3 tonight. Ortiz has had a rough series, but again, I put a lot of that in the pitching they've seen. I mean, it's been constant right from the first game of the Oakland series, continuing on through the Yankee series. They've seen very, very good pitching, and of course, Jason Varitek 0-for-1, but you know, that fielder's choice. When he beat that ball out the first place, that's huge.
Jimmy, you know Nomar so well. What's going on with Nomar?
I haven't really talked to him. I think it's just the way he's thinking, the way he's approaching everything.
Have you not talked to him because you know that he's kind of pressing a little bit? I know guys are kind of on edge a little bit with him.
But there's a hitting instructor down there, and I don't want to go over his head. I mean, I just maybe go to the clubhouse and just talk to him, say hello, hey, get your head out of your butt or something like that. But he's trying. He's not trying to do the things he's doing right now as far as not producing runs, not getting bases, not hitting his double plays. And the more he presses, like the deeper he gets.
His first at-bat tonight, I thought he hit the ball very well. Hit a hard line drive to center field.
He did, but he's hitting with a weak left side. That's where the left side is breaking down, the right shoulder is dropping. He knows this. He said he takes good BP, and all of a sudden he gets in the game, and his mind just go blank.
Pressing a little bit.
Yes,
he's not hurt, is he?
He's not hurt, no.
Let's look at the pitching for the Red Sox. Tim Wakefield, outstanding, 7 innings. I mean, this guy, it's amazing to me. Guys are right now opposing hitters in the playoffs hitting below $160 in the playoffs.
Well, you look at the strikeout numbers for Wakefield, 8 tonight, and we saw a lot of the Yankee hitters in this ballgame actually going for the downs. I thought, you know, they're swinging as hard as they possibly could. They could to try to make contact and try to hit home runs. Timlin, again, outstanding as he's been throughout the playoffs, and Williamson with the 3 strikeouts. What a way to put away the 9th inning. It mixed in with the home run, but it didn't matter. They had the 2-run lead. So outstanding pitching all the way through from starter to setup guy to closer.
Jerry, that's 6 games, 7 1/3 innings for Mike Timlin in the playoffs without giving up a run.
Incredible. And that's what we talked about. You needed a hot hand out of that bullpen. And, of course, he's been the most consistent guy all season long out of the bullpen. But he's even brought it up a notch here in the playoffs.
Well, Jason Varitek, as you mentioned, Jerry, as we watched that box score, didn't have a hit, but his at-bat, one of the biggest of the night.
Greg, you said earlier this season that you hate DHing, or you just don't like the mental part of DHing. Is it different? Is pinch hitting totally different from that?
Pinch hitting is it's a very difficult thing. That's the big thing that I like to catch, because that's what I do. So I go to the bullpen to catch, because that's the only way I know how to get loose properly. And pinch hitting, it's not always easy.
How put out your arms that signaling safety? Say anything? Did you yell safe?
You know what? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Mad Dad for the first time.
Hey, just that's what I've got.
And all the stuff that went along with another day to talk about it. What do you think it meant to the series to have a good game?
Well, I mean, you're going to have good games. I don't care if it gets ugly again, you're still going to have good baseball games with these two teams on the field.
Well, I'm not going to ask you about pinch hitting because you don't know anything about pinching. I don't know if you pinch hit very much in your career.
Not very successfully.
What do you think that's like, though, to be in the bullpen, have to trot out, have everybody in the ballpark see you, everybody's on their feet? Let's talk about expectations.
Well, if you watch Varitek throughout the course of a game when he's not playing, he's out in the bullpen, he's always doing something. He's swinging the bat, he's trying to stay loose, and he can anticipate when his time may come. And obviously, but the funny thing about Varitek is running with all the equipment and stuff. I mean, I'd be dead by the time I got to the dugout, out of breath and out of gas before you even got to the plate. He's carried all his junk in.
Yeah, why does he let somebody else carry that in?
Well, Tech's a working man, he likes to do that. And boy, this is one heck of a play by Derek Jeter, and they almost turned over that double play, but again, Varitek running hard. I thought if Nick Johnson gave a little better effort at first base on the stretch, they may have had the double play to get out of the inning, but to Varitek's credit, running hard all the way, just beats it at first base, and there's your ball game right there.
The other point that you made about Nick Johnson, too, at first base, we all remember Pete Rose used to cheat a little bit. Yaz used to cheat a little. Kevin Millard did as well. And on a bang-bang play like that, that basically was the ball game, really, Nick Johnson right now in New York, they're probably not very happy with him. I mean, it's it's one of those things. It's easy for us to say that up here.
Well, Nick Johnson's also played some very good defense in this series, too. Remember the line drive he took in foul territory, and, he's a very good player. And I think if he had to do it all over again, he may give a little bigger stretch. He may even come off the bag, try to steal a call from that first base umpire. By
the way, Grady Little goes to Jason Varitek, who's in the bullpen. Here are the numbers, Jerry. 2 for 36, Mike Mussina against Mike Mussina, and you have Mirabelli 3 for 7. So on paper, maybe it didn't make a lot of sense, but it certainly worked out, Jimmy.
It did, and I think sometimes you have to have a little gamble there, and he went with Varitek, and the gamble worked out.
And that's why I think tomorrow maybe you go against some of the numbers and the conventional wisdom, and you let Todd Walker hit, and you stay with the guys that got you here, because right now this team seems to have that cohesiveness working.
Yeah, I think he will, and they obviously know that they can go back to New York with the 1-game lead. The Yankees have to beat them twice at Yankee Stadium, which will be, a tough task. You're going to probably end up with another Pedro Clemens matchup in Game 7 if it gets that far. So, as Jim said earlier in the ball game, this is the time of the season you go at your best, and right now Todd Walker's your best.
Well, and I think Grady Little did a very fine job managing the ball game tonight by bringing in Jason Varitek. He let Tim Wakefield out there as long as he could go. Mike Timlin came in, did the job. Scott Williamson did as well. And Grady Little has this team tied up 2 games apiece in the American League Championship Series. Let's go downstairs to the podium.
Grady, Varitek, he come running in from the bullpen, then he goes running down the first base line. A lot of running for that guy. Talk a little bit about what it was like for him to run out that DP ball.
I thought that was the biggest play of the game, and him rushing in from the bullpen at that time, I think it more than got his legs loose enough to do just that. But he was hustling. He always hustles.
Who else? Hart?
Grady, what was you thinking putting up Varitek in that situation, considering he had so little success against Mussina throughout his career?
I was thinking he was due. He has struggled against Moose in his career, as a lot of hitters have, and he's been big for us in a lot of situations just like that throughout the season, and we're hoping he would come through again.
Over here,
Grady. The 5th inning when the Yankees had 2nd and 3rd run out, Giambi hits the fly ball to center. You surprised Soriano didn't try to beat the throw from Johnny?
No, that was a really shallow fly ball right there, and with the potency they have in their lineup, I'm sure that they're banking on the next guy getting a hit.
Grady, over here. Todd Walker, you know, I don't know what's in him right now. He's on a run, and it's obviously been going through September after slumping. What's he going through right now? Why has it happened? What are you noticing from him now that maybe he wasn't doing when he was slumping?
Well, he's a very confident hitter right now. He thinks he can hit anything that comes across that plate, and that being the case, he'll be in there tomorrow.
Sometimes I wish we can ask the questions up here. I thought that guy was going to get to the question is, will Todd Walker play tomorrow? I think we're all in agreement. He's going to play tomorrow.
Well, I can't make the lineup for Grady, but...
Sure you can. You're bigger than him.
No. But the way he's swinging the bat, he should play tomorrow.
Jerry, Todd Walker, 5 home runs. The Red Sox record for the most home runs all time in a single postseason. Nomar Garciaparra was 7.
Well, it's hard to explain. I mean, this is a guy that only hit up, what, 11 during the course of the season, somewhere in that area. I'm not quite sure the final number, but to have this many in postseason play, you know, it's funny. A lot of times you focus so much on the middle of the lineup. Guys like Ramirez, guys like Ortiz, who had been very hot, Nomar, obviously, Millar, who had been hot at the end of the season. I'm not just saying that they don't focus on a guy like Walker, but many times in playoff situations, it's the person you don't expect. And here you got a guy that was just over double digits in home runs in the course of the season, but yet having a huge postseason by hitting home runs. It's hard to explain.
Actually, let me rephrase this. Nomar Garciaparra, 7 home runs all time in the postseason. That is the club record. In a single postseason, Walker's 5 home runs is indeed the new Boston Red Sox team record. Let's take a time out here on WB Mason's Extra Innings. Come back. We'll look ahead to this a very important game tomorrow at Fenway Park. This series is tied 2 games apiece. The Red Sox win tomorrow. They're going to feel a whole lot better going down to the Bronx, and Jerry and Jim will tell us how the Red Sox can do just that.
Hey, you think reality TV is hot? How's this for a reality check, okay? A bunch of 250-pound guys skating at you, full speed, elbows high, firing 100-mile-an-hour pucks in an enclosed arena of ice. And to add to the pressure, you're wearing the same B on your chest worn by Schmidt, Busick, Orr, Bork, and Neely. Huh? Put that on television, okay? And that, my friends, is Cool TV. Get out of here! Boston Bruins hockey on Nesson. Cool TV, now in HD.
Subaru, driven by what's inside. Now get 0% financing on all Subaru models and up to $2,000 customer cash back. Plus, special factory-to-dealer incentives make this a great time to buy a new Subaru. Subaru, America's #1 selling all-wheel drive vehicle. Offer ends October 31st, 2003. For details and a list of local Subaru dealers, go to newenglandsubaru.com. Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Charlie Moore, Nesson's Bad Fisherman.
At Mallside Discount, there are so many tools and tops to choose from, you won't know where to start. Tools for the do-it-yourself or tools for industrial use. Tools for the most demanding jobs, all at Mallside's deep discount prices. The walls are filled with hand tools and accessories like Black & Decker saw blades, drill bits, and router bits. Mallside Discount also has the area's best selection of tarps in sizes from 5x7 to 50x100. In Newport, Trailside Discount Outlet on Moosehead Trail next to Subway has the same great selection. For quality tools, tops, and ropes at deep discount prices, Mallside Discount Outlet in Bangor and Trailside Discount Outlet in Newport.
Hi, I'm Brian Walker with Ogden Directories. We really appreciate all the calls we've received about this year's edition of the Big Book that you recently received in the mail. Please, keep reaching for the Big Book for all of your needs. And support the advertisers who really make this directory possible. Remember, it's your town, we're your neighbors, and it's your phone book.
Call us today to advertise 942-2950 or toll free 877-246-8179.
All right, tomorrow for the Yankees, it will be David Wells. He was supposed to pitch yesterday, so he's working on a lot of rest. Here are some of the guys in the lineup that have hit David Wells, and he doesn't like to pitch at Fenway Park, Jerry.
He's been better recently, though. You know, I think he's 10-10 career here at Fenway. A lot of those struggles coming early in his career. No, he doesn't like it, but he has pitched better recently. In some ways, he's very similar to Mike Messina. He does not walk many guys. David Wells will throw strikes. You see some of the home run totals. Manny Ramirez with 4, Jason Varitek with 4. You know, it's quite possible that he could give up some home runs here at Fenway. But again, he's like Messina. Very seldom does he get himself in trouble with a walk and, you know, give up 3 runs in an inning. So it's not going to be an easy battle. Wells is a professional. He's been around a long time, knows how to pitch.
Jimmy, when I looked at these numbers, they kind of surprised me to see that David Wells is 14-20 against the Red Sox, because I have so many memories of David Wells pitching well against the Red Sox. Although at Fenway Park, we also remember all these post-game press conferences he holds about how he wants to blow the place up and whatnot.
Well, if that's what he wants to do.
That's not allowed, by the way.
I know. If that's what he wants to do, let him do it. But tomorrow, I think what we have to do, we got to make a change. I think the guys are not hitting very good against Mr. Wells. They have to move on the plate, make him do different things. Guys that are successful against Wells, they probably may not have to change. He's got to make a change. So the guys that are not doing very well, make David Wells change.
And by the way, just on the point about Todd Walker or Damian Jackson, tomorrow Damian Jackson has 5 at-bats against David Wells without a hit. Todd Walker is 4 for 18. He's hitting .222, so Jackson 0 for 5, and Todd Walker with a little bit of success. So I think we'll most likely see Todd Walker tomorrow. Right now, we will see, though, Kevin Millar in the Red Sox clubhouse.
The job the bullpen's doing, Timlin and Williamson specifically.
That's phenomenal. Pitching and defense keep moving us to the next levels. And I tell you what, without them, we wouldn't be here. A lot of emphasis has been on the offense and all the stuff we've done all year. But that got us to this point. To win games, you need good pitching and defense. And Williamson right now is throwing the heck out of the ball. I mean, the pitches he threw to DeLucia and Nick Johnson as lefties were unbelievable. And Timlin hasn't, obviously, hadn't allowed a hitter. I don't think since he's been here.
Every day. Go both ways.
Well, Kevin Millar is another one of those guys that has struggled for the Red Sox offensively as we talk about some of the guys that have struggled at the plate. Jerry, he really has kind of been in a funk at the plate, before the postseason started.
I look at it the other way, Bob. Yes, they have struggled, and yes, they haven't scored runs like during the season, but they've won a series against Oakland, and they're 2-2 against the New York Yankees. So that is good news. How long can these guys stay down? I don't think they can stay down that much longer. Again, you're going to see very good pitching, but they've got to hit better than what they're hitting. So to have so many guys right now below what they did in the regular season, and in a lot of cases way below what they did in the regular season, to be in the position of already winning one series against Oakland and being tied 2-2 with the Yankees, that's a pretty positive thing.
And it has to be demoralizing, Jim, for another team to be playing the Red Sox and know that this team is built on hitting home runs and scoring runs, not about pitching and defense, and to be beat that way.
Yes, but we're not really hitting home runs right now. What we got to do, we got to go back to the base hits. And when you talk about Millar and the rest of the guys are not hitting right now, we can't go out there and overswing. We got to go back to the base, and we got to go back to the line drives, get the singles.
One thing that's interesting about the Red Sox offense here in the playoffs, of the 30 runs that they have scored so far in the playoffs, 19 runs have come home via the home run, so they're not manufacturing runs.
No, they're not, and that's the way they've been all season long, really. It seems like when they hit home runs, they win games. This is a lineup that's been put together with a lot of power. We saw the incredible balance they had all season long with home runs and runs batted in throughout, and it seems like when they do hit the home runs, that's when they play their best. That's when they win games. Of course, it doesn't help to get pitching like they've got either.
I thought Grady did a great job managing the ball game tonight, but I do want to bring up the one point about, sometimes you say, well, we did this all season, so that's the way we're going to do it. And clearly anybody who's watched the Red Sox this season, they know that when the count is 3-2, he is going to send the runner. Well, in the playoffs so far, that has not worked out well for Grady Little and the Red Sox at all.
That really bothers you, doesn't it?
No, how many times, Jerry?
I agree. They did it all season long, and many times they stayed out of double plays with it. But you're right. In the playoffs, it hasn't worked, but I don't expect them to stop. Now, it's a little bit different when you got Pettit on the mound. Pettit, you can't get any kind of lead or any kind of jump off of. Isn't a good example right there. You see the lead is only about a foot from the bag, so you're definitely going to be out. You're banking on the guy making contact, and what you need is, a little bit more contact in these situations. Again, you have another runner thrown out here, and of course, another one happened tonight where Nixon was way out at second base.
See, I like the strategy, Jerry. I just think sometimes you have to think about the situation a little bit more. If a pitcher's a strikeout pitcher, or, David Ortiz, he's had a great year, but he's prone to strike out a little bit, you kind of run yourself out of an inning, it seems.
Yes, but a lot of times you as a hitter, when you know this, you have to cut your swing down. Even though you may see the guy's going, or if it's a sign that he's going, you can't sit there and think you're going to hit the ball in the ballpark. You got to be short and quick. You at least got to make something happen. You got to make contact. So when you're striking out, you can't just say it's great. You got to blame the guy that's swinging the bat.
Yeah, when managers put that play on 3-2, it's not the runner who has to get a good lead and good jump. You basically don't want to be picked off. You make sure the guy goes home. You're hoping that guy makes contact, and recently that hasn't happened, and it's looked pretty bad on a number of occasions. But
I don't think this season very well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stop. I think he's going to keep doing it. But again, it depends. If you got a guy out there punching out, 10, 12 guys, you're probably not going to run in those situations. But if you feel you can make contact, you go with the gamble, you send him. It hasn't worked in the playoffs so far, but it did work all season.
Or you wonder, too, if, you know, if pitcher's on the ropes, maybe like Pettit was, if you don't do the move then. Also,
that's one I would, you know, Pettit's a little bit different.
And as a hitter, Jerry, you have to, I mean, 3-2, you're going to be fighting anyway, but even more so, I think you expand your zone in that case, don't you? I mean, you know that that's the strategy of the ball club.
No, absolutely. You know, 3-2, you're fighting for your life, really. You don't want to strike out, and anything close, you've got to swing. But I'm going to keep an eye on you, Bob, because that's been bugging you, and I know it's going to happen again tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow night.
Well, I threw you curse this T-shirt across the room when it happened tonight. Let's go downstairs. Nomar Garciaparra. The Red Sox and Nomar right now tied up at 2 in this best-of-7 series.
You've talked so much this season about the team effort, and with the heart of the order trying to get going right now, something like what Walker's done throughout this playoffs. How important is that?
It's been huge, and you know, that's stuff that it's been going on all year long. You know what I mean? And that's, like I said, that's what everybody knows. And they come into, you know, that dugout. It's going to take everybody, and we depend on everybody. And it's a great feeling going out there.
There are a lot of nights this regular season where the pitchers tip their caps to the offense for picking them up. How good a job has the pitching done this postseason?
They've been unbelievable. They really have, and we definitely tip our hats to them as well. You know, they've been huge. They've been coming up big, and you know, that's what you need in the postseason. You need everybody going out there doing their job.
Well, you know him so well, so I always ask you when he talks, I mean, how much pressure is he feeling right now? I mean, the team, Jerry makes a very good point. The fact that they're tied up 2-2, you have so many guys in the lineup that haven't hit, they have to feel great as a ball club, but he wants to contribute.
He wants to contribute, but when a lot of guys have pressure on them, they're not making the plays out in the field. He's not thinking about that. He's making the players out in the field. He's contributing, but he's still thinking about that base hit. He wants to knock runs in, but when he's not knocking the runs in, I still want that man to play defense for me.
Is he one game away from finding it, Jim? I mean, is he one game about, you know, going 3 for 4 and hitting the ball solid from finding this?
I sure hope so, because I hope it doesn't get any worse than the way it is right now, because we're telling what he may do to himself.
All right, let's take a time out here in WB Mason's Extra Innings. Come back, and we'll continue to talk about what to expect tomorrow. Nothing unusual tonight in the stands. Something a little unusual there late in the game as Brady Little comes out and asks the umpires to check Jeff Nelson. But other than that, it was great baseball as the Red Sox tied the series up 2 games apiece.
The smooth, delicious taste of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Just the thing to bring a smile to your face.
You bring me Masaka or it's your badge! Come on, Buddy Lee. Let's make like a tree and go.
Look out, Buddy Lee! I got to get me some of those jeans.
Attractive Civic Coupe from Honda. Introducing the delicious new sourdough bagel sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts, made with ham, egg, and cheese on our freshly baked sourdough bagel. Just the thing, served warm and fast.
Tonight's show is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, what a night at Fenway Park. Todd Walker does it again, hits another home run. That's 5 now. Is he the MVP of the postseason? Right now he is. The Red Sox tied up at 2 games apiece. Tom Caron downstairs with the Red Sox second baseman.
3 through 6 batters were 0 for 12 tonight. That's very unusual for this team. For you to pick the team up, Trot Nixon, how much of a team effort does that make this?
Well, it is a team effort. It's been a team effort from day one. I mean, during the course of the season, we haven't all hit 1 through 9. I mean, that's just the reality of baseball. And you'll see that, you know, Nomar will start getting his hits. Manny will start hitting some home runs. Trot and I certainly aren't going to hit 500. So, you know, it just kind of shifts. But that's why you got so many great hitters in this lineup, and that's why we've continued to win, is because other guys pick up other guys, and that's how it works.
Until the home run, you seem to be in total control of this one. Tell me about the home run, what the pitch was.
Well, I hit a 2-0 changeup out of the park in New York, and so when I got to that particular pitch and that at bat, I eliminated the changeup and just felt like he was going to throw a fastball. I didn't think he was going to get beat on his changeup again, and I guessed right. Not only that, I mean, he might have tried to come in right there, and he caught too much of the plate, which is
uncharacteristic of him. But I've faced him during the course of my career, and he's a tough guy to figure out. So I think right now I'm just trying to think along with him.
Scott Williamson in the 9th, Mike Timlin in the 8th. It's become almost automatic here in the postseason, hasn't it?
Well, you hate to jinx the whole thing, but Timlin's been lights out. He's been awesome. He's been a great professional since day one, and as much criticism as the bullpen has gotten, Timlin's been such a I think a pick-me-up for all those guys down the bullpen, basically because he's a veteran. He's been through it before. And then Scott to be doing what he's doing. I mean, he's unhittable when he's throwing strikes, and as you saw, he was doing that tonight.
Well, let me ask you finally, after what happened Saturday, a rain out yesterday, so everybody's still talking about it. How nice is it to have a game under your belt again and to be talking baseball after the game?
Well, this was a great game. I mean, after the fact, and the fact that we won, I mean, it was awesome. It was fun, and it was a battle tonight, but it was a clean game, and that's what everybody wants to see, and it was a lot of fun for us. Of course, we came out again on top, but this team's tough, the Yankees are, and we're as confident as we can be, and of course, Derek Lowe's as confident as he can be here at home, but we're still playing the Yankees, and we've got a battle.
All right, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Todd Walker with us. Let's go back to our Nesson studio.
Tommy, thanks very much. And tomorrow afternoon, this is the pitching matchup. It's Derek Lowe against David Wells.
Completely opposite styles. Wells with the over-the-top fastball, curveball. Obviously, Derek Lowe, the sinker ball pitcher. Let's remember, it's a 4 o'clock start at Fenway Park. If it's a sunshiny day, again, those shadows may be a factor.
And he pitches so well at Fenway.
Well, I just hope Derek Lowe have that good sinkers, and I hope the guys just challenge Mr. Wells. Get up on the plate, say, hey, give me your best stuff.
By the way, the playoffs always seems to bring, it seems to bring out these heroes. I mean, I'm not going to say Todd Walker's, somebody that you don't expect because he basically carried the team offensively in the month of September. But you look at the lineup, you expect the Nomars and the Mannies and Kevin Millar and David Ortiz. But somehow, October seems to make heroes of guys like Todd Walker.
Well, in a way, you may think that, but this team here is about not necessarily individuals, but this is a team effort.
No question.
So at any given day, any one of these guys can shine.
But it does have a way of making heroes like Todd Walker.
I'm sitting here, my hero.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, are we gonna do the show wearing this Curse This T-shirt? I'll tell you, this is good luck because before this, here you go, the little Rem Dog paw and the Curse This. And by the way, when you buy these T-shirts, a portion of the proceeds will go to the Jimmy Fund, which, of course, we all love here in New England. But more than that, though, which is great, Jerry. I like that the Jimmy Fund gets the money, but it brought us luck tonight.
Absolutely. I'm so sick of hearing about the curse, I figured I had to do something about it.
And that's at the RemyReport.com. And you guys have to both feel very good, though, where the Red Sox stand right now as you look to this game tomorrow.
Well, I didn't like the feeling coming into this game tonight. After everything that happened 2 nights ago, Messina, I felt was going to pitch better. Red Sox won a tough ball game here tonight. They played terrific baseball. Wakefield was outstanding. The bullpen was outstanding. Some clutch home runs by the Red Sox. Some great hustle by Veritek. A huge win, obviously, to go 2-2. Still going to be a very tough series. I mean, it's now the best 2 out of 3.
And tomorrow's so big, Jim, because you win tomorrow, you can go to the Bronx, only have to split.
Well, we want to win here. We want to go to Bronx and win there, too. But get back to Messina. Messina's always have been tough on the Red Sox, even when in Baltimore. And to me, the guy that we had to think about more was Messina, and so happened we beat Messina twice.
All right, guys. Tonight, the Red Sox cowboyed up. We cursed this, and the Red Sox even a series up at 2 games apiece. For Jerry Remy and Jim Rice and our entire crew, I'm Bob Rogers. Thanks for watching, everybody, as the Red Sox tie this all up at 2 games apiece. See you tomorrow afternoon.